on to the IC title match, the shortest match of the night, I think.
Yes, by leaps and
But
bounds.
I think we called how it was gonna go. It was kind of a Goldberg style, a Goldberg Brock style
Squash.
Yes.
it squash, but like a power moves match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, squash
Nothing
S.
but signatures and finishers and good kickouts and builds and hitting the spots. Um, it was kind of the best kind of spot fest. That's really what I would call it. Because Sammy looked strong. He looked don't get me wrong. He looked like he was getting beat up in there, but he looked strong. He looked like a comp. He reminded me of like an NXT Sami Zayn, which is the best kind of Sami Zayn, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, he took a lot of the big hits, but he's the underdog.
He got some hits
So
in too.
Yeah.
it's his job to get off the Blue Thunder and the turnbuckles, suplex and the haluva kick and you know. So I felt like it went exactly how it should have went. Braun ends up hitting two spears at the end to win the match.
Yeah.
Um, the Steiners were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess my question would be, how do you feel about Sammy's reign? Because I think we all saw Braun becoming champion. Um, and I don't want to put your name in it, but I feel like D, maybe you also saw Sammy's reign ending at SummerSlam.
I think
Um,
a lot of people did, honestly.
so I guess the question would be, how do you feel about the reign overall? Because I thought about it in my head. The reason Braun winning was so easy to call for me was the fact that I felt Sammy didn't make a whole lot of sense as champion anyway. So the reign felt weird to me and it never really caught on. So it felt like, oh well, of course, Braun, the one with like a good story and a place to go with this, would probably win. But maybe that's just one perspective of how Sammy winning the IC title in Mania went.
Um. Uh, I say. I say I kind of agree with you here. Sammy winning the title, it didn't really make sense at Mania, but story wise, it's Philly, WrestleMania. Everybody sees Philly as the underdog team, underdog city, however you want to take it. So, given a good underdog story at Mania, at that point in time, Sammy winning, it absolutely makes sense. It did make sense
Mm-hmm.
in a certain way, but like you said, he didn't make too much waves in this title run because he didn't really necessarily need to. You figure he had his little thing with Chad Gable. Okay, cool. And then aside from that, it was mostly just crickets. But I thought SummerSlam was going to be the spot for him to drop it. You figure April is what? Mania, right? May,
Hmm.
June, July. He gets a good 3 to 4 months as the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good, decent feud with Gable. And then after that, you kind of just, there you go. So I wasn't, he didn't have the worst mid-card title reign ever. Didn't have close to the best, but it kind of served a purpose.
Mm. D, how do you feel?
I mean, I thought the reign was okay at best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just like, dude, I get why he won at Mania because of, the the Philly thing. Underdog story, underdog town. Let's throw in the fact that uh Ring of Honor and all those Northeast promotions were based out of there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I get it, but also at the same time, it's like he had like the 3 to 4 solid matches with Chad Gable, and then after that, it was just kind of like,
Crickets.
yeah,
Yeah,
basically crickets. And then when Braun kind of, got pushed into the, title picture, it was just, you just kept thinking to yourself, like, Braun is
It's
it. Because
it's almost
he's
inevitable.
it. Because I've said it time and time again, and I know a lot of other, wrestling podcasters such as yourself and fans have said it. Bron Breaker is a future world champion. So why not start his, career off on Monday Night Raw with him holding, the Intercontinental Championship, and let's see if he can elevate it, to the same levels as the world title. I mean, he elevate it like Gunther did? Probably not. But it's gonna take one hell of a person to take that IC title away from Bron Breakker.
Yeah, it'll definitely take a hell of a character. I appreciated the respect that they put on Sammy. And they even told a little bit of that during the match. Like, Sammy has faced giants. Sammy has faced the world on his own. So I did understand, like the part in the match where Braun is slapping him, telling him to stay down, give up, you got no chance, you're all alone, nobody's gonna save you. And it kind of pissed Sammy off, and I thought to myself, save Sammy? Nobody saves Sammy. Even if Sammy loses all the time, he goes down fighting, by himself. Nobody saves Sammy. So I get the respect they put on his name, but I say that just like you guys describing those 3 or 4 solid matches with Chad, I felt like a lot of the reign was just them trying to make up for the fact that they didn't put the strap on Chad. Because it just felt like Chad should have been the guy. We shoehorned Sammy into this because he had nothing to do. And instead of making Chad the Rocky, we made Sammy the Rocky. But the people were not happy about that. So now we got to do something about that for Chad. And then I guess maybe they had Bray or Bo planned all along. Maybe they didn't. I'm not really sure. But it felt like they went with that until they found something for Chad to do. And then simultaneously, Breaker had reached a point where he was kind of doing so good, you had to give him something.
Yeah.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie, why?